Well, hello again. This is Wendy of Wendy Outdoors, and I'm in one of my most favorite places in the world that I've seen so far, and that's on the west coast of Vancouver Island. We're presently we're doing a small 3-day glamping trip in our older RV van, and we just set up our camp up in the Green Point campsite, which is part of Pacific Rim National Park. As soon as we were set up, I raced off to the beach, and I thought I'd take you along for a little walk. The surf's pretty loud, and you might not hear me over it, but that's okay. You'd probably rather hear the surf anyway. So come on along. It's a beautiful day. We're going to be here for 3 days, and this is the only forecast sunshine, so we don't want to miss it, for sure. So I'm going to take you through a passageway over here to a beach I particularly like, which is called Comer's Beach, and we'll go for a walk along the beach there now. Okay, here we are. Just climbed over a lot of drift logs. The path is chock-a-block full of them, covered in sand. Nice and slippery passage, but I made it in one spot, in one piece. So this is Comer's Beach. One of the things I really like about it is at this end there is a lot of interesting rock formations. There's also a number of tide pools when the tide is out. So I'm going to walk out here and see if I can find some. There's not an ugly spot in this park, I really don't think. I'm always amazed how every time you turn a corner you see some more beauty. Here we got some little sandbirds whipping along here. No tide pools at this point today, but we'll be here for 2 full more days, so see if what we can find. So I'll just give you a panoramic shot here of this beautiful area, this wonderful beach. About as close to the ocean as I'm going to get. It's absolutely beautiful today. I love the green mixed in with the grays and the blues and just under the waves. And it's the sound of it that really draws me out here. I try to come out at least a couple of times a year. Whoa, nice wave. Probably see why I keep trying to come out here. It's absolutely spectacular, and I never ever get tired of it. Okay, we're almost at the end of Comer's Beach. We're going to come up to a small river, and on the other side of that is the Wickaninnish Beach. Okay, well here we are. This isn't looking much like a river right now. It looks more like a creek. But when I was here in the fall, it was a totally different picture. The the banks were really high with sand, and there was a raging torrent of water coming down here. Never seen it like that. And it was just pulling away chunks of, huge chunks of sand from the banks on either side as the water rushed down to the ocean. It was not safe to walk along the edge of it. And right today, it's just like a soft flowing baby stream. So it's all about the weather and the season. You come here different days, it will look different again. It's I think one of the fascinating things about being out in nature, it's always changing, sometimes dramatically, sometimes very subtly. You just need to come out a lot, and then you start to see that and really appreciate the beauty and the strength and why we need to take care of this earth of ours. Okay, we came from the other side of those rocks. I wouldn't say they're in the foreground, but the first set of rocks you see right off the sand. So I don't know how far that is, but I also see a huge new tree with roots up that arrived this winter, and it certainly wasn't here in the fall. What I usually do is walk one side, one way down against the water, and then I walk the other way or return along the logs. There's so many drift logs here, it's amazing. So let's go do that, and sometimes you find some interesting things. Many of the beaches along the west coast are totally littered with remnants of logging, a lot of them. Over the years, many years of logging that's taken place in British Columbia near the coast. Logs were cut and sent down rivers. Very often they managed to get out to sea, and sometimes taken there on purpose. And of course, they didn't all stay where they were put. So, but then these logs are like many years old. And some of them here are, of course, just a result of nature, uprooting trees along riverbanks and shorelines and sending them floating away. And then they, through the winter storms, they get tossed up and rearranged. Maybe that's the thing. Some are tossed up new, and others are just rearranged. If you're ever here in the winter, people come here to do what we call storm watching, and these things are bouncing around like toothpicks, which is absolutely phenomenal and hard to believe until you actually see it. It's a completely dangerous place to be, but that's the strength of the ocean. And I'm just going to walk back down along the shore here and find my way back to our van. Okay, here's an interesting driftwood sculpture made by nature. To me, it looks like a cockatiel. You don't see it? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Anyway, this was here last fall, and I took a photo and I tried to draw it, but I'm afraid my drawing skills were really not up for it. I have minimal drawing skills, but it was a good exercise. So I think it's kind of an interesting one. I wouldn't mind having that in my yard. I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of pounds it weighs, so it won't be coming. All right, we'll carry on. Okay, well, we're back at the other end of the beach, and I'm about to go through a little area here which is quite magical, I think, and I've been through here dozens of times and love it. It's a little trail that leads to the main trail that goes up to the campsite. I was just looking here. I see if you're a person who really is fastidious about keeping your hairdo in place, you might want to reconsider coming to the west coast. It's always windy here. Occasionally, maybe not, but it's rare. So anyway, I'm going to turn you around so that you can see where we're going and see how beautiful parts of the west coast is when there's been a trail cleared through and there's some low plants. It's really lush in here. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, here we go. In a way, I hope they never repair all of these boards. The beauty of being in here is the moss, but you know, they do have to replace some of them because I guess it's liability issues, but it's so pretty. Okay, I'm back up the hill, and here is our little van camping spot. And as you can see, we have an older RV, an oldie but a goodie. Bought her 6 years ago and have gone a lot of amazing places in her, and she's a 2004 leisure van, and we absolutely love having her. And we have a little tent on the side here, which we use quite a bit. The sides can come off. It's really a bug tent, but it also is water resistant, so we store things in there. So we'll just walk over. Okay, so this is our setup. We have 2 bikes with us this time. There's a wonderful multi-use trail here. There's one tiny section that's not complete, but last time we were here in the fall, we went for a really nice bike ride. Bob likes to ride the mountain bike, and another adjustment I've made is that instead of having a road bike or a mountain bike, I've now moved to a pedal assist bike, which folds up and fits inside the van. So I'm going to go in and get myself a cool drink and sit down, and probably in a while light a fire, and a little later have dinner and just relax for the evening.